Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Throttle Talk, your weekly podcast for all of the current automotive news in the world and the Middle East.
Going well. Take two.
No, continuous. One take. Ma Farah is not better than us. Okay. No, keep it going. خلاص, we're just going to use this.
We're going to use this?
We're going to use this.
Nah, bro. We'll repeat.
Welcome everyone. I'll laugh all over again.
بس شيل الدموع من عيونك خي انت.
Don't make her cry.
Your tears for another day. Okay.
All right.
Shut the fuck up and you stop.
Right. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Throttle Talk, your weekly podcast for all of the current automotive news around the world and in the Middle East. I'm your host, Anthony, and my co-host is Nick. Today we have a special guest. His name is Kamal Karaa.
Yeah.
With a 9?
No, with a K.
How do you spell your name?
K-A-R-A.
No, how do you say your name?
Ara.
Ara?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
We just call him Smurf. Smurf K.
So Kamal, we have
Smurf K. I like that.
Smurf K. We have on the podcast because he participates in ATCL. So I thought it would be interesting to pick your brain and like what you do and what you practice.
It's not because you're interesting as a person.
So
we're clear.
Just so we can have a plug into ATCL.
Like we would have replaced you with anyone else if we could.
You've already hosted the Boya, so that's literally anyone else.
So you want to kick this off by introducing yourself, telling us a bit about yourself, what you do, what you drive currently, what you used to drive before.
All right.
You can also state your age, رقم الهوية, whatever makes you comfortable.
Can I give my bank account number?
No one can steal anything from it.
It's a F.U.T, no worries.
Safest thing I can do. All right. My name's Kamal Karaa. I'm 29. Tell you a bit about myself. I'm an electrical engineer and I'm kind of obsessed with cars.
Where did you study?
At AUB.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Sadly.
Wow.
Yeah. What do I drive? I currently own an M2 and an Evo 10.
Mm-hmm.
What color are both cars?
Blue.
That's why we call them Smurf K.
Is there another car like a stable, like the horse, the work car?
Oh yeah,
the workhorse.
We have the family car, the Ford Edge.
Yeah.
By the way, the Ford because it also has blue, but like the Ford sign.
Blue, it's black.
Yeah, no, but the
sign,
the logo's washed off. It's just a chrome logo. It's like in GTA when they copy a car, and it smells like Nido.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It does.
All American car.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
Keep it rolling.
So you drive these cars currently. What did you used to drive before?
I used to have a Renault Megane RS.
Is that your first car, or you want to?
No, that was my second car after I crashed my first car.
Oh yeah, we're not passing. Yeah, we have to talk about this.
Let's talk about this.
My actual first car was a 2007 Honda Civic. And I crashed it.
Wait, when did you get this first car? How old were you?
I was 18.
18.
Yeah,
okay.
It was.
No underage driving?
Never.
Oh wow, this is rare 18. In Lebanon.
No, I drove with supervision, like on closed roads.
So they are public roads though.
Not really.
Like we're putting them on the spot.
Yeah.
No, they're not really public roads. They're the roads of the the compound Bijabal.
Okay.
There's
no, Anthony, just in case they decide
community
to do like a reform and they want to look into past corruption cases, we incriminate everyone on the show.
I can be your politician. I started driving about when I was 13, I think. My dad started teaching me when he decided that buying a go-kart was too expensive.
Oh wait, you were into karting before or like?
I started karting at 4 or 5.
What?
I think.
You could have been a Lewis Hamilton,
Yeah, that's
I was
young.
a bit
Here
too
he
fat.
is.
I was a bit too fat. My cousin took me, I think the first time. It was this, forgot the name. Park cart or something, I don't know.
It's probably closed now.
Yeah, way long ago.
Callis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Started there with my cousin, and then I started going regularly to RKZ, which is now Pit Stop. Went there quite regularly for most of my childhood until I was like 13. It was about time for me to start competing, and then obviously the cost of a car wasn't really reasonable. I think it was something like
Cart?
Cart or car?
No,
Okay.
yeah,
You
the
said
go-kart. Yeah, I think it was something like $10,000 back then.
Okay.
So it was
If you adjust it to inflation, it's probably like 18, 19K today.
maybe.
Yeah.
And fresh.
So like your father decided this isn't like the
He's like, I'll
path
teach you
for
how to
right
drive.
now?
Yeah, I'll teach you how to drive a regular car. And that's when it started. We had a Honda Civic. It was a 2007. No, the one I learned how to drive, I think, was a 2001 or no, actually 2002. Because we used to change them every 5 years, and my dad was obsessed with Hondas because they were so reliable.
Yeah.
He liked that VTEC.
Yeah, VTEC life. So when I was 13, he was like, I'm gonna start teaching you how to drive.
Rather than race on the track safely,
Yeah.
let's let you race on the road.
And Sierra موجودة. The car is there.
We have a go-kart at home.
Yeah.
Funny part was he put me in the car. He like moved the seat forward completely, and then he put it in first gear. And he's like, just drive it like you're driving a go-kart. And I mashed the throttle and I was like, go-kart! And he was like, stop, do not drive like you're driving a go-kart. So yeah.
So where did that Honda end up? Because it sounds like your journey started with it, but
the first one, we just sold it after 5 years.
the one you drove.
The one I drove when
Your
I was
first
18,
car.
I crashed it. Pretty big crash.
Please
How?
elaborate.
Please elaborate. How?
I was on the slopes and it started raining quite heavily, so we were like, we have to leave early. And on the way back, we decided to take the Abu Bizain road, the one that's
The one that we keep confusing and calling like Wadi Jamajim and like Wadi Al-Mot.
That's
على
Abu
فكرة
Bizain.
أنا قلتها بيور accent بالسوري وادي الجماجم.
ليه من وين عملتني من دير الجماجم من وين وادي الجماجم من وين
الجماجم؟
راح عمل لي الجماجم
وادي الجماجم.
ايه خليجي مع شوي قلبني جيت من الصحراء.
الجماجم. Yeah, so you took that road.
Yeah, and it was raining quite heavily. And then I got to the like.
Wait, you're going downhill.
Well, actually, it was,
I'm
برجع من فردبيان, but it was actually like the part that was already uphill.
Okay.
نرجع نبلش نطلع صوب بكفاية. And then في الكوع المشهور كوع أبو ميزان, which is like this blind.
Wait, hold up. Is this because at a part in Abu Mizan, there's a place where you reach like فردبيان ترحب بكم.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like where the bridge. There's a bridge.
It's after the bridge on your way back.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the corner you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like this harsh blind corner,
where the trucks, where the stone like the factories are.
No, after.
Come on. Okay,
I
shit.
think it's a blind corner.
There's a Khadarja on your right, and then a gas station after.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was on that corner, and then it was raining so heavily that there was literally like kind of a river of water on that corner, and I was going like 60, 70. I was 18, 19 at the time. I think.
Were you alone?
Yeah, but my friend was in his car ahead of me. Yeah. And I started cornering, and then the car just understeered, going straight into the way there. And I was like, fuck,
how old were your tires?
I have no idea, but I remember complaining to my parents that I needed new tires.
Okay, there you go.
And they were like, no.
You're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine.
This is just like a wake-up call for everyone. Do not
don't
skip out on
tires.
tires.
Don't fuck with tires.
The one thing connecting you to the road.
Yeah.
So my reflex was yank the handbrake. Don't go into the way there. Go into the wall. Which I did. I yanked the handbrake and the car just spun. It went into like a 180, and then the two right side tires caught in a ditch. And then it like kind of catapulted. It didn't flip, but it catapulted the car into the rocks.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so like my roof hit the rocks. Yeah,
okay.
The passenger side.
Like the car we were talking about before.
Yeah. Let's not mention it.
Yeah. Let's keep people happy.
Do you think had you not pulled that handbrake, you would have not been here?
Honestly, I have no idea. I was too young to say I had the reflexes to do the right thing. But I think it was just I was panicking because and it's a pretty big like freaking valley.
Drop, man.
Yeah, it's a huge drop.
فكرت فيها when you said that corner, I remember.
Yeah. So I think the reflex was I was smashing everything in the car. I was
this thing stops the car. I'm gonna put it.
It has brakes, and then I put it in
Imagine he just like, he goes into the back, wasted.
That's dark, man. Dark.
with the
GTA, with the GTA.
Yeah, so that's how I crashed it. And then,
What did, like, so hold up. If you had to narrow it down, let's play Khabir for a second.
all right.
Would you blame your speed or the tires?
I think it's
Wait,
both.
are
I think it's
we
both.
putting the blame on the parents here?
No, not the
Not
parents.
at all.
Forget it.
It's I would say it's both. I was
Probably
driving
both.
a bit too fast for the conditions.
Like
60,
Pascamena
70.
roads. Let's just say
Yeah,
this one.
oh.
Tarmac's horrible over there, and I was driving a bit too fast for such weather, and the tires, and the everything.
Did you do what everyone else does? Like, if someone parks their car in Beirut and hits it as he's parking or
You
driving,
saw it,
he just calls the Khabir, خبطني الرصيف. Do you call him خبطني الجبل?
No, it was horrible. I
Yeah,
had
your
to
first
wait.
reaction, what was it? Like, who did you call?
My first reaction was to try and back out of the ditch because the car is smashed into the
Oh.
ceiling, then fell back on the
Okay.
4 tires. And I
Okay.
tried to back out, and
But
then
it's front wheel drive?
yeah, it is. Then my friend just came running to me, and I don't know where the hell he pulled a wooden board out of, and he put it over the ditch behind my tire, and he was
That's
like, back
crazy.
up. Yeah, that
Wait, behind your
Wait.
front or rear tires? That's what I'm confused.
front, because
Okay.
it went like kind of sideways, and then it went up and down, and then the rear tire had made it out of the ditch, but the front tire was
Okay, so
yeah,
it's pretty,
whatever.
it's
But,
So
perplexing.
the question is, did you drive it back home?
I could have, but everyone was like, "No, don't," because the hit didn't really harm the
mechanics,
the
the
mechanics.
drivetrain.
Even though the wheels were actually like caught in the ditch, and
Okay.
it actually catapulted the car.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry, but that was a horrible
totally.
wait. It was a 7-hour wait for the blotta because he couldn't
تحت
figure out
الشتي.
تحت الشتي, because he couldn't figure out where I was. Luckily, I was in my ski stuff, which was
Yeah.
you know like
Yeah.
I
Was
had
your
that
roof
was
punctured?
crazy.
So like if you were sitting
No
in the car, was
puncture.
like water coming in?
No, I wasn't in the car.
Ah, okay,
I wasn't
خلاص.
sitting in the car. I was تحت
You went to the Khadarji.
tromba. Yeah, تحت
Yeah.
الترمبة.
Grab the
What's
carrot.
that?
Grab the carrot.
pretty bad day.
So
Yeah.
after the Civic, you got
What was next?
Megane RS.
Megane RS.
Yeah,
Color,
blue.
of course. So
So
tell us about the first day you got the car. What was the experience like?
Or
What
how?
happened?
No. Also, I'd like to know what led up to the decision. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
true.
Honda Civic crashed, totaled. You know what you need, boy. You need a race car.
Well, no, actually, the logic behind this, Anna, in my opinion, was quite sound in the sense that my dad realized that خلص, no matter what I drive, I like driving fast, I like driving sporty.
So get you a car that can do that well.
Yeah, exactly. Get me a car that can at least
وبتعلمك.
handle what I throw at it. Yeah. So that was the logic behind the Megane RS. Actually, the first thing we were thinking of was a 1M. Because I love BMW.
What could have been?
Yeah. But
Ugh.
the price was way too high for a
Of
first
course.
car. It
And
was-
أكيد تجي بلا options. بلا شيء.
I always order no options.
No, not you. The شركة لحالها will do it for you.
Azan didn't have that many options
Yeah.
when you think about it. So yeah, we went into Basul, and then they were like, it's 85K, I think, or something like that at the time, which was
Wow.
like,
Do we
no
adjust
way.
this to inflation? We
Uh,
won't. We won't.
yeah. I think
That's
it's the price you find them in the market right now for a low mileage one when you think about it. I think
Yeah.
it's just the exact
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
price.
they appreciate
They held really well,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
going up.
Right.
Exactly. So they were like, we have a suggestion for you. And then they took me to the Renault showroom, which was right across the street. And they showed me a brown Duster. And I was like,
What?
really?
What? Like from a 1M, like, oh, you know what? We have just the right thing for you.
I think they were like, because this kid is clearly like gonna crash
Mentally
it.
challenged.
Yeah. So I was looking at the Duster, and then there was this blue Megane RS that was parked right in the middle of the showroom, and I fell in love with the color, honestly, to start. And I was like, I want that one. Like that one. I don't even want to order and wait. I want that one specifically, which I
Okay.
regret now. But
It didn't have the cup.
it did
pack.
not have the cup package. No Recaro seats, no
No
limited
diff.
slip diff,
Yeah.
small rims.
So basically, you were just driving an overpowered Civic.
Yeah, but that's saying too much. Honestly, the Megane was a school.
No, I
It's,
know.
It's a crazy, crazy car. So yeah, and that happened. I didn't know how to drive manual at the time.
But wait, so the Megane, often in our conversations, you always say the Megane. You just said it as well. You
Yeah,
mumbled it.
it's
Like
a school.
Megane is a school.
It's a
Why?
school.
Like,
front wheel drive in itself, learning how to handle a front wheel drive car, especially one that has such a chassis, because people who haven't driven the Megane don't really know, but the chassis is honestly impressive. The grip, the handling, the response, it's something else. And then with the power and the fact that it's front wheel drive, it teaches you how to manage understeer, how to manage oversteer, how to manage lift off oversteer. It's an insane car. Most people don't believe me when I say it, but like, people think I drive well. I don't really consider myself to be a good driver.
Neither do I.
Yeah, a lot of people do, though, which is weird.
Now that you mention it, like a lot of people that I know that drive well, they had a Megane RS or like
or Clio.
RS.
Because they are genuinely schools. People don't believe me.
Wait, hold up. Why did you
I
throw the Clio in there? You just want to include Boy in this conversation?
No.
I'm joking.
The Clio is even more engaging.
Because it's lighter.
It's lighter.
Come on, Boy.
Karim.
The Fakhri brothers.
It's a school. Karim is not exactly Haida because his first car
was an Evo.
No, it was the Lotus.
Yeah, I think
it was a 260 Cup.
Still, he had a Megane for a long time.
He did. It's he raced it. He was insane. He was honestly insane when he was racing in the speed test. So it's a school, and most of things I've learned, including drifting and whatnot, came from the comfort I gained with cars and car control from the Megane.
We're talking about driving the Megane. Tell us about the first day you drove the car, actually, or you.
No, we'll save that for later.
For later?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should save that for later.
All right.
But we want to move on. Weekend Track Warrior. I just want to this is an intro into what we're moving on into. So you participate in a few of ATCL's events.
Yeah.
All right. So we just want to for our followers, viewers. We just want to know what's the process like for people to join. Can any car join? What's it like?
As long as it's not an SUV and there's no risk of rolling over.
SUVs?
Because it's just worried about the risk of rolling over.
Don't make him go into his FUT theory. Yeah.
So
you like the FUTs, don't you?
I do like the FUTs. We'll get to the FUTs later on.
Anyone can participate at some point. I think there were I-10s. Actually, the most recent race had Nissan Sunny.
Wow,
nice. Cool.
That's so nice. I'm so
like
what?
A stock Nissan Sunny.
Stock Nissan Sunny doesn't even.
It's obviously like مخابرات الجيش. I'm like testing on it. They want to see.
It's pretty cool. Anyone can participate. There are obviously categories and classes and blah blah. It's divided, so you're most of the time competing with people with a similar kind of car. Yeah.
All right. So how many categories are there? I think there are like 5.
This year, they increased. No, there's more than. Well, actually, there's 6. I think there's L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Those are the road cars, and then you go into the RC and the SM and the Proto, which are the rally cars and hill climb cars, if I'm not mistaken, and the cross cars, which is a new addition.
So how do you know your car in what category it lies?
It's engine displacement and aspiration. So
do they account for tunes and whatnot?
Yes, they do now recently. At some point, anything above 2-liter turbo was just L4. So you had cars that had 600, 700 horsepower. You had supercars and stuff competing with stock. So now they kind of separated into L4, L4 Pro, and L5.
Okay.
I don't really know.
So subcategories.
Yeah, subcategories.
So what do you participate in?
L5.
Okay.
With the Evo L5.
Yeah, with the Evo L5.
And with M2 before.
M2, I think now counts as L5 as well, because it's I think the condition was 3.5 liter and
above.
Up. Yeah. But when you have forced induction, they add a factor. They multiply by 1.7. So the Megane being, M2 being a 3-liter turbo, you do that times 1.7. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Quick maths.
Not gonna do it now.
And so what's the can I walk in and be like, okay, I want to join? They're like, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You just have to have a valid driver's license, a car that's registered in your name, or if it's not in your name, you have to get a signed paper. Wakele, exactly, from Katib al-Adl.
What about insurance?
Insurance is you have to have insurance on your car, obviously, but I think everyone has insurance, and third-party protection is
liability.
You don't need the HIDA.
All right.
And then you have a per race insurance, which ATCL makes you pay per race.
That's good.
I think it covers should any accident happen, it covers the damages you caused. I don't think it actually covers the
You,
damages
okay. To public property
Yeah,
or
because
whatnot.
my question is, for example, like insurance, if you crash your car during the race, would they fix your car or be like, oh, you're racing? No.
No, I don't think it's covered.
It depends. I
shit.
think it depends on the relationship you have with your insurance provider.
Yeah.
Shout out to Reef Amana Insurance.
Yeah, actually, he does.
Reef
he does insure my Evo.
No. Honestly, what I know, this is like we're moving into me plugging something, but what I like is all of my old cars I've gotten insured with them.
Yeah.
Either like insurance against getting stolen or like third party, which is a peace of mind. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
other people would.
Besides all of that you mentioned, to join a race, is there like any medical checks you have to do?
You don't have to pass by for a regular, vision reflex tests with the ATCL doctor.
Okay.
Dr. Gihkayim. He's located right next to ATCL, so you just go get your checkup and then you run to ATCL and you get everything done.
What about payments?
Yeah.
Payments.
Is there like a yearly subscription to be in an
ATCL you have to pay. Well, you have the fees are separated into your license, your insurance per race, your participation per race, and the doctor's fees.
All right. So are they per race based, or like there's
the license and the doctor
thing?
is a seasonal thing?
Okay.
And then you have the race and insurance is a per race.
Can you just give us a brief idea, like?
Yeah, I think first
approximately,
of all,
like
I'm gonna say the prices I pay because it depends
on the categories.
Yeah,
okay.
so like lower categories pay less.
I think people would be able to have an idea off of the numbers.
I think girls don't pay at all. They just pay their license and their insurance.
That's actually really nice.
But
I'm so down with that.
Down for that.
But what I paid, I think the first race I paid $450,000 for the participation, $400,000 for the license, $100,000 for the doctor, and then I think it was like $30,000 for the insurance, or was it $75,000? Approximately $1 million.
And like Lebanese pound. And how do they accept, like, because we're in a state of what
payment, check, card, cash.
Has the amount changed
substantially
the past couple of years, or is it the same?
Well, it used to be like the whole season would cost you approximately $1,000 at F.U.T.
So $1.5 million.
Okay.
It did increase a bit, but it's not at 1900, it's a bit less, I think.
So it's not like the person who wanted to sandblast every piece from my car for $20 in fresh, like in cash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really just going all out on this guy today.
No, it's pretty reasonable. Some people argue they're like, you're paying $1 million liras to drive for 6 minutes total. Well, fine, but it's the competition, it's the show. We made a lot of friends. The Fakhris you mentioned, I became friends with them through through the speed tests.
It turns into like a community, man.
It is
a community.
It is. And it's not really, there isn't that much, like harsh competition where people are like, I want to beat you and I want to be.
Go deflate your
good
tires.
Spirits all around.
There are people like that. There's always exceptions, but most
We're not
people.
friends with them.
No problem with them, but you kind of do actually stay away from them during the race. But otherwise, like the other people, they're usually helping each other.
And you're racing like without a worry in your mind. Like, think about it. If I can tell you, like, you want to take like Tariq Rumia, the new Rumia road, go drive it like an absolute maniac, and Derek won't follow you home.
Yeah.
Like, I would love
and honestly,
that peace of mind.
After those races, you kind of like realize that whatever you do on the road, you're never going to really be, completely calm and able to drive that way. So you kind of like just avoid it. You stop driving that way on roads.
Same thing. I like on a different level. I have the same thing with karting. When we go to RPM and kart, afterwards you walk out, you're like, that's out of my system.
Yeah, exactly.
The one problem is the steering on the kart is so light, like, it's heavy, and it's very minute changes. Exactly. So you go out in your car, you're like, the M2 is just spinning out 120. It's fine. You're driving calmly, but like, you're just
impact.
All right, I think we're gonna take a little break and then we'll
with water.
Come on. Sure, we can do it with water.
All right.
All right.
So if you have to talk about your ATCL, your experience with ATCL so far, how has it been so far? Like, can you just walk us through a bit of the ups and the downs throughout the whole thing?
There aren't really any downs. for me at least, it was a place for me to live out something I've always loved. The budgets were decent. I mean, it was something like على 1005 back then. It was like a couple $1,000, including like tires. Like I wanted to compete, so I would buy tires, like 6 tires, semi slicks, because I wanted to be competitive. And hey, but I think like right now with the exchange rate,
it's cheap
peanuts.
if you
it's like I don't know.
I mean,
but like.
But then again, وضع البلد it's harsh to say it's peanuts.
Yeah.
I felt guilty as hell when I was paying my participation in my license. I was thinking,
but they did scale up their prices like
they
a bit,
did,
but akid not as fast as like everything else.
No, way less, because they want people to keep participating. When
Of
you
course.
think about it, I'm not gonna pay like activity. It used to cost me like I don't know $1,000 per season. If you're gonna scale that up to 13,000, عم تحكي 13 مليون.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pay 13 مليون to go race around for 3 minutes on between cones.
Yeah.
Get what I mean?
Well, as you said before, they're flexible with the payment methods.
Yeah, they
as
are.
well.
They are, which is a huge plus. Honestly, to me, I wasn't gonna pay in cash. I wouldn't have
So
done
they
this
take
season.
cash, Lebanese.
Czech, Lebanese, dollar, whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
they're being flexible. They
But-
want to encourage people to
So
participate.
clearly, but something like I've noticed so far from what he's saying is finances are a big part of like racing and how
Those are
how
the
deep
downs.
like
all
yeah
over the world.
like how
All over
deep
the
down
world.
the rabbit hole do you want to go?
Yeah.
Of course, no, but
It's one of the most expensive sports.
exactly.
Period.
This was like where I was getting at. This is like a transition point into our next point is sponsorships. So we know in general in Lebanon, auto sports and many sports, if not all sports, are often neglected and like looked down upon as like a like the
and sponsors are like stingy with the money.
Yeah. So how has that been with you? Like, has that been the case mostly with you with your ATCL events?
Honestly, I've never really put myself out there. I'm not really big on social media and all that type of stuff. So maybe it's kind of my fault that I never really got sponsorship for my competition. But still, there's this stigma that goes around motorsports where you have الزعران اللي بيشفطوا بالطرقات.
No, you're equated to like a
Exactly.
hooligan, a street hooligan, just because
they don't really realize that this is something that's kind of properly
and
organized.
it's FIA sanctioned
exactly,
and everything.
Exactly.
Wow.
Sports.
And with most management and most companies being kind of like older, like in their 50s, 60s, whatever, especially in Lebanon, it's kind of hard to change that way of thinking. They just don't want to be associated.
Their perception is like a one-track way.
They don't want to be associated with people who do motorsports and عم بيتزعرنوا على الطرقات. They're putting other people at risk, or they probably know their brother who died in a car crash. مدري وين, and
This is why we understand, and that's
It's
why we offered you
understandable.
our sponsorship. That's why you have the Throttle Talk sticker on your car, because we understand your pain.
How much are we paying him, Nick? Tell the viewers.
Yeah, do tell the
Tell the
viewers.
listeners.
So we've structured a payment deal
Yeah.
that stretches along the span of like 30 years
Wonderful.
with a cash payout.
Once this podcast picks up, then the money
listen,
starts
if
flowing
someone
in.
sponsors us, we'll sponsor him. We share the love. Like, no, honestly, no, all jokes aside.
Yeah.
He was really like, he did an OG move.
We're very appreciative of
yeah,
that.
really, like to help get the name out there more than others.
How
like,
many
it's-
stickers? Like you have like 3 or 4 on the car?
I have like the
Two on the
name,
side.
the
He has
title
the
on the
spoiler.
spoiler. I have the logo on the
The
rear
rear
quarter
bumper.
panel, and then I have like
The
on
trunk.
the
On the
trunk,
trunk.
I have like Throttle Talk with like
The
Anghami, Spotify,
The tramp stamp for the car.
So like kind of like so people
Sponsor
know
us
what
and
I'm
we'll
talking
have
about.
one of these logos bigger than the other. And Hami, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I mean, generally, like if people are getting sponsored here in Lebanon, how much would they get paid for you? Like
On
roughly.
average, I know it depends on what class they
And,
join.
like how far would that help them?
The budgets for speed tests in particular are pretty tame. It depends how competitive you want to be. The thing is, you can throw as much money as you want into your car, but like for a basic season, a couple $100.
That's your money. I'm making from sponsors.
Yeah, so like,
I'm
how
saying
far would a
couple
sponsor?
$100 from a sponsor for
Go-
someone who
goes
wants
a
to
long
do a
way.
basic season can go a long way. They can actually like I think
Are
500.
sponsors looking for people who just do basic like?
I don't
That's
really
the question,
know.
like,
I think sponsors don't really know what goes on in speed tests. They just it's not really media. It's not it doesn't have
It's
enough
not
media
covered.
coverage.
It's not
Yeah,
covered.
Exactly.
yeah.
It's not like rallying. You can watch it on LBC when it's happening. It's like it passes by in a tiny little thing, but reportage
That's pretty sad.
afterwards.
Yeah,
You know?
or Instagram stories on Beirut Beast.
Yeah, basically.
Hey.
Shout out to the beasts. Yeah. So
So like $100 can go a long way
Yeah.
for like a
like if
normal
you have
guy.
your own car, you have your own.
If your car is already like ready enough, or you know, like
Uh-huh.
80% there, that
Exactly.
$100 maybe or 100, 200 can like help you with that
But
finish.
what about the
Exactly.
guys that are like in the higher class categories?
Yeah, have there been any
Kameno?
international sponsorships?
I don't know if they're in speed test. No, I think it happened in rally at some point. I think Castrol did some kind of academy with Motor Tune at some point. But
There was also Red Bull as well.
yeah, Red Bull,
Red Bull's
Middle
in
East,
everything.
obviously. I don't really know the terms of it, but I think it was something to kind of encourage the younger people. I think Matt and Jam, Patrick and Jam, and
Yeah.
someone was part of this Castrol Academy thing, and I don't know if it's still going on.
We hope they bring like we hope if this has stopped, we hope they bring it back. If this like
Yeah.
we need people to do this. Like I really don't. There's a lot of talent here, and like
Yeah.
it's a shame to see it like fade away or just
عم بيروحوا دهب.
wash away. Eh.
Yeah,
Like no, honestly, because how old are you now?
29.
So what would be your driving peak like in motorsports? A person's like driving peak
You know,
in terms of reflexes. They often do vary, but in general, like with Formula
no,
One
it
now,
also-
we see
it
like
also
younger
varies with discipline as well. Like
Yeah.
F1, I think you peak at like
23.
23. Hey, you're like at your peak.
Yeah,
Unless you're
yeah,
Kimi
you know,
Räikkönen.
But
But I mean, had your father gotten you that cart at 13, would
Who
you have
knows?
maybe considered like maybe things would be different now?
honestly, with the budgets of racing, especially in single seaters, which is what karting kind of graduates into, I doubt it. Especially where the Lebanese passport is kind of a like, you know,
A burden.
A hindrance.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
hindrance to get any like international attention. But the newer generations are kind of like moving towards it right now. We have a few young prospects that are doing actually amazing
Yeah.
in the international scene. They're doing.
You want to name them?
I think Matt's doing it. Matt and Jam. There's Abdul Ghali's son, Christopher.
Yeah. How old is he though? He's really young.
I don't know how old he is, but I know he started really,
Man, I
really
think
young.
that's
Yeah, he was
That's
like he was like in diapers maybe when he
He
started.
started really young, and he's got talent like crazy.
Yeah.
And then we have a few people who tried like my generation, but I don't think they
The
went
older
really
guys.
far.
Like
Yeah.
I know for a fact Joe Ghalib is participating in September in Cyprus for a
Yeah,
rally.
yeah, that's,
and he's representing Lebanon. I don't
Yeah.
know if there are other Lebanese drivers, but like I've spoken to Joe and
We've had some.
Yeah.
They were, I think, in Jordan a week ago or something. Or I think Jordan rally's coming up. I'm really fuzzy on the dates. I don't know the schedules. But even Roger's participated in Rally Antibes in France, and they've done Jordan. They've done Cyprus. Their multiple teams have gone, and I think Qatar even they've done Qatar Rally, and it's like, you know, it's nice seeing them out there, and a lot of our guys are competitive. You know, they're
They get
podiuming.
results.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
okay.
podiuming. We have really good.
and that's
drivers.
with a limited access you have to practice facilities or
Yeah.
to facilities here. Like
yeah. Although there's no denying that we have really, really good roads to learn how to rally, in particular in Lebanon, even though it's kind of
safely? Question mark.
Well,
yeah.
safely, yeah, they do block off the roads when they train, but do they actually take permission to do that? I don't know, honestly.
I don't
have
blame
no
them. I
idea.
don't blame
I have
them.
no idea.
Like,
Here's
how
the
it
question.
goes.
I mean, ATCL events usually take place either on the road or at the karting tracks. Which do you prefer?
Speed tests in particular.
Speed tests.
Yeah.
for example.
Well, honestly, the experience of driving on a closed road for me was, you know, something completely new. It was amazing.
They started it recently. Right?
Yeah, they started. The first one I did was Rumie 2 years ago, and then
wait, this is the new Rumia Road off of Matna Stadium.
Yeah, the new
like
tarmac,
oh,
the one where
wow.
you can go crazy.
And the banked curves.
Yeah,
That was
But-
impressive.
but honestly, you know, the risk of going crazy over there is too high. I think you guys saw the 458 that crashed 2 years ago there.
The yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one. You know, is it worth crashing your car for?
I mean, yeah, it comes
No.
down to a risk reward factor,
Exactly.
but like
And راح
at the
تشتغل
same
out.
time, it's a road that you drive every day, or like you could drive every day, but
Yeah.
you're never gonna have the opportunity of driving it worry and guilt free. You know, like if I crash,
thing is,
I'm the only person who will be affected. You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, when
It's
you're
not like I crash
racing,
and wipe away a family.
when you're actually competing, when you have that mindset of I'm competing, you have the helmet on and you have like the lights and you're waiting to go, and you know, the level you have to drive at, the state of mind you have to be in is different. Obviously, it's nothing like professional. It's not like I'm not like claiming it's like F1. No, not by any means. But you have to be way
Shout
more
out
aggressive.
to the Golf that just passed by with a fart cannon.
Yeah. But like the limits you have to go to are not something you're comfortable doing in your own car where there's a high risk of crashing.
And no sponsorship money to like make up for it in case. I understand.
You're going to have to pay for it.
If you crash $100,
not when you're going, especially in the higher categories, you know, like when you're going, you could easily hit in certain points in Rumi, if I'm not mistaken, As-Sahbi before the last corner where the Ferrari crashed. Yeah. Without the chicane, I think in the M2 I could go 180 easy. Wow. 180 kilometers per hour, and then you have to brake hard, and then you have to go into a corner. That's if you're in the mindset of racing. And then when I actually did the race, I didn't even try to go that fast.
How familiar would you guys be with the track before going?
Yeah, like how do you get some practice sessions or like
on tracks, like when it was back in Verde and when it's in RPM and when it was at pit stop.
Wait, Verde was the parking lot?
Yeah, the parking lot of the slopes. They used to put up cones and
it's just the parking lot. Yeah. Also, you would put. ATCL would put it, or would you do this on your own?
No, the ATCL would do this either the night before or the morning of the event. And then when it's actually time to compete, you get to walk the track twice.
Okay.
In Rumia, obviously, you're not going to walk all the way up to the end of the,
That's like a hike for me, bro.
Yeah, it's a hike for anyone. So they kind of like made us drive in Warabad,
driving formation.
Yeah, driving formation basically, where they just show you where the chicanes are, so you're not surprised. With an ATCL car running in front of you, to keep the pace decent. And
so that's you being familiarized with the track itself.
But you don't actually get the practice on the track. Yeah, exactly.
Do you take the initiative upon yourself to practice besides ATCL?
Well, back when I first started on the Megane, we did used to go practice in Verde. I was part of Renault Sport Club Lebanon.
We mentioned them, I think, episode 1, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I think so. Yeah. Shout out.
What role were you? Were you just a member?
I was a member at first, and then I became part of the board. I was
Boss.
I was the treasurer for the better part of 5 years.
Okay.
No, probably less, like 3 years.
Did they vote you out, kick you out?
No, I just sold my car.
Okay. Come on, it was not get the fuck out.
Yeah, basically. So we used to set up practices. The president at the time, Eli Ghanem, he had a lot of experience, and he plays a huge role in ATCL and organization and whatnot. So he used to set up the tracks for us and like teach us. First we were like 3, 4, 5 cars, and then eventually the team grew to like 11, 12 cars, I think, at the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we used to learn from one another, set up different tracks.
And would all of these team members participate in the speed tests?
Yeah, most of them, but on and off, like the constant ones were like 4 or 5 cars. It was me.
It's because you get to choose, like some people just participate, I like RPM, I'm just going to do RPM.
Yeah.
Like Walter Rohrl.
And at practice, they'd go to try and then they'd feel uncomfortable and then they end up not participating.
It's not worth, like exactly. If you're not feeling it, don't push it.
No peer pressure from...
All right. I think right now we can take a little water break.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
sure.
All right, we'll take a water break.
All right,
we're back, guys. No, let's give it a second.
So we talked about. Let me take it.
You want to do? Yeah.
All right, so we're back, guys.
So we talked about practicing for the ATCL events.
Yeah.
Tell us about the setup that you're running on your cars right now. Are you taking both Evo and M2?
You can't participate on 2 cars. You participate on 1 car.
No, I'm waiting on Inta for like one event is the Evo, one event.
Can you do or you have to choose 1 car for the season?
No, you could. They're kind of lenient with those things from time to time, I think. But I'm not really keen on racing the M2 mainly because the maintenance is kind of double that of the Evo.
So you got the Evo as like the
Evo is a dream car. It's not really a bitch. It's a dream car that's kind of more made for this, you know? Even though...
So what did you have to do to the Evo to get it in running order for Sunday?
I mean,
running order.
This is your
Like,
first speed test in the Evo.
In the
so I'm
Evo,
still,
yeah.
like,
So
I'm sure
what
you're
did you
still
have
like
to
pretty
go
touch and
over
go
to
on
make
the
sure?
setup.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just okay. I'm gonna make a bad confession. You know the whole.
Did you not
belt
change your
not
oil?
bought,
Lean in towards
the
mic
The
and-
belt not bought. Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
bought.
No, we know that part. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, did you do like regular maintenance? Did you check your
Obviously,
plugs?
I checked oil. I checked plugs. Coolant, blah blah blah. Shout out to Jay for helping me last second. I installed the hydraulic handbrake because I thought I might need it, but basically no, not much.
Okay.
So what about the M2? Like you were running that on speed tests for a
Yeah,
while.
for a
I know
year.
you had like
Yeah.
suspension changed,
Oh.
seats changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did go.
I don't think you
through-
can attribute that to the ATCL though.
I mean,
It kind of is. It kind of
I mean,
is, but it's also
the Evo segment was a bit dry, so I'm like trying to like dig in for the M2 a bit.
like the M2. Honestly, it was like when I bought the car, I wanted it with 0 options.
Okay.
I knew that all the options would be a freaking waste because I knew I was gonna rape it.
Yeah. You're
Not
gonna-
really
you're gonna
rape it. I
thrash the
didn't
car.
harm the car, but
Well, خلاص, he was gonna abuse it on track. Like he
Yeah.
knew it was
it's like
destined to
I'm
do
buying
track
an
duty.
M2. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's a car to be thrashed.
This is Kamal, the
Mish-
weekend track
trash.
warrior, bro.
It's not gonna be thrashed, but I bought the car to drive it. I'm not one of those people who
I
goes
agree.
and
I like that.
بنزل عمر مخيل بالسيارة وبصفها قدام المحل. It's like
Okay.
I actually don't take my car when I go out because I don't like
That's
going
real
through,
car guy talk.
Yeah, I don't like
صراحة.
going through the hassle of parking it.
Honda City for the win. Whenever there's like valet, you take the Honda.
Edge, baby.
So all of the mods and upgrades were targeted at the speed test events?
At
or
the
like-
speed test, at my own driving pleasure. I want to
Okay.
enjoy the car. Everything that I felt needed fixing, I fixed. I
So
changed.
what are they? Name them.
I added a bit of power, full bolt.
When did that happen? After you met who?
When I met one hell of a, I'm not gonna curse more. When I met this lovely person, I ended up spending all my money on my M2.
Well, at least it's money that you were able to get out.
True. Considering what
it's
happened,
that silver lining.
not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put bolt-ons on the car. Nothing too extreme. An exhaust, downpipe, panel filter.
Just enough to make it the loudest car on the road.
Yeah, probably.
Right. I think your car is the loudest car on the road.
Right
isn't it?
now, but at the time, I think mine was
maybe no. Maybe F.U.T is because F.U.T just got upgraded turbos. So
I haven't
the
heard it yet.
spool is
I
gonna
haven't
be
heard it
different.
yet.
Crazy.
But like
yeah.
when before that point, definitely it was my car. Yeah.
It's just obnoxiously loud.
Yeah.
Listen, you say obnoxious, I say lovely. Agree to disagree.
It's their own.
Yeah.
Anyways,
there you go.
carry on.
Yeah, but I didn't really, I'm not a kind of numbers guy. I don't care if it makes 700 horsepower. I just
Alright.
need it to
There
make
you go. The
enough
feel.
to suit me. I focused more on the handling and the feel of the car.
I like
so
that,
I got smaller, lighter rims.
Mhm.
I got.
Where did you get them from? Tell the people because there's a little story to how far you went just to get them.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I traveled to Dubai and I got them back.
How many
instead
days
of
did you spend in Dubai?
2 days.
Yeah.
Just so he gets wheels.
Just to get my rims.
Wow.
Yeah, just to get my wheels.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it was a good weekend though. We had fun. Not to take away from that, but yeah, I actually bought a ticket and got a visa just to go get.
And
my
you
rims.
brought them back
Wow.
with you on the plane.
I shipped them in the plane. It's like وصلت على المطار. I got to customs and they were like, "شو جايب معك سيارة?" I was like,
And like with that.
that Lebanese cringe, and I got back to the M2. I got coilovers as well. I got Olin's road and track coilovers on it,
Okay.
and then eventually a bunch of my friends, Nick being one of them, pulled up a bit.
I can tell you. No, hold up. You're missing out some of the big parts.
What?
He has a Wagner Evo 2 competition intercooler.
Yeah, that's the kind of power parts.
Yeah, you gotta mention them, man.
Yeah, whatever.
You're not gonna talk about how that drop-in air filter gave you 70 extra horsepower.
70? Ooh.
It's 72.
Was it red? Was it red? If it was red, then definitely.
Yeah, it was red.
So what about the tires? What are you running on the tires? Like, what were you running on the M2 when you were taking it to speed test?
Every week you have to specify with him and boy.
I don't know if I should say this, and Halim might listen to this because it's.
Let's not. Let's plead the fifth on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna plead the
There's
fifth.
one tire he shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, but
Okay,
after that,
fine.
I was running Kumho PS91s. That's what I raced my last race on because I didn't have my rims at the time. Great tire, by the way, for every day and for sport driving. And
what about the Chinese tires?
Yeah, right now I'm running Chinese tires because honestly it's just sad to burn expensive tires. They're like
no, I agree. Every M owner, like I don't think you're inducted into the M family unless you have a set of Chinese tires and maybe extra rims. Like I have my Manharts that I had on the 4 Series are just on the Chinese tires. Mm-hmm. And you get upset in summer when I run them because I just mismatch. I don't care. I just change the rears because that's what I'm gonna burn.
Yeah, but that's functional drive life.
Yeah, bro. Get with this track life.
So and then eventually I got bucket seats for my car.
Okay.
Regaro.
So, but since the car is now off of track duty, when are you gonna sell them to me or donate?
Never. Honestly.
Yeah, you can take them on to any car.
Best thing I ever did was actually pull the trigger on those seats, which honestly someone pulled for me, but no regrets.
No regrets. All right. I think we can move on. So I just want to ask you, the track situation in Lebanon. We spoke about this. We touched upon it a bit about we're just racing on karting tracks, whatnot. Yeah. So do you see this as a serious setback in your development or other drivers' development?
It's definitely a setback for people who want to pursue this as a career. And moreover, I think it's a huge factor in the fact the road safety issue we were talking about earlier, where the whole stigma around people who drift their cars in the street and whatnot, if they had somewhere to actually drive their cars the way they would want to or would like to, I think they'd leave the track not feeling like doing that on the roads.
We do that with karting.
Exactly.
After karting, you just get in the car, you're just...
Yeah, it's a good blow-off, It's like بتفش خلقك, but having an actual proper size track with good tarmac, with the facilities you need.
Proper size is key, because we just...
like at least
a karting track
2-3 minute lap.
Yeah.
Instead of a 1.2, whatever, 120 second
Maybe you're
lap.
just too fast.
Be that as it may, it's repetitive eventually. It's like a 1.2 kilometer. The longest one we have is RPM. I think it's 1.2 kilometers. And and plus you need variety. Even if RPM is, thank you for giving us their track, but no, you need to even in karting, you're not going to learn if you keep going to the same track all the time. You have to go to different tracks. You have to see.
In bigger tracks, they also change the layout every now and then.
Exactly.
Keep the drivers entertained and on their toes.
Plus, I think it would attract a bit more international activity. And maybe people from Syria could come try their cars on Haida or from Jordan.
Red Bull Car Park Drift. There was a Syrian guy who participated. I remember because I was watching this.
There was a guy from Mauritius Islands.
Turkish guy, Tunisian, Morocco.
Wait, what about that Beirut Grand Prix thing where all of the participants...
That is something we really don't like.
That
is weird. I don't like. Listen,
I respect what they tried to do.
Nice attempt, but horrible execution because they really alienated the whole world. They're just like, okay, 99.9% of the Lebanese population, you're not eligible to sign up. It has to be a super expensive car that you only take to Metropole and back.
Even though there was a GT4 there. It was like, you're my friend, I'm going to let you come.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Why?
It's crazy how, I understand that you have certain standards, but alienating the whole people who, honestly, I say this often, is a person who has a 328 or any BMW or any old Mercedes, any old car.
320.
Yeah, these cars. 320. We'll put the big number up here.
The number up top.
Right here.
Yeah, no, they learn more. They know how to drive more than the people who just who end up becoming successful in life or reach a point where they can afford a very expensive or powerful car. And they're just okay, if I can afford a Lamborghini Aventador, I must be a great driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Which shows because multiple accidents happen.
In that particular event.
Let's not just say the cars.
There's no need. There's no need.
Yeah, it's fine. But that also goes back to poor organization. They did this poorly. They did not set up a proper track.
Was ATCL involved in this?
No, not at all. Not at all.
If it had FIA,
not that I know of. I think what year was that?
This is 2016.
2018.
I think they got a visa from ATCL, but I don't think ATCL had any part in the organization, and I think at some point they pulled out You know,
I think I recall something like that.
But
Yeah,
honestly, I don't want to.
And the whole track changed. It used to be like, we go around Beirut, Salim Slam, Corniche Mazra. Like it was a really nice circuit. Yeah, it was an actual Grand Prix. Then it just became like.
I know. I was invited to the launch of the Beirut Grand Prix. It was some major event and everything. But then I think down the line things started to get scattered.
And
they lost sponsors. They lost members that were big parts.
And how was like the organization with like the government? Like that's I think something the government said like, yeah, we'll facilitate this. Then like, wait, shit, we can't close 60% of Beirut's exits.
Like one of the members that pulled out, they had the plug with a high political person. We're not gonna mention names, but then when these people pulled out, the event just dropped.
No, personally, I like regardless of all of that, I just think it's due to the fact that they really like set such an impossible standard for people to join. Like, khalas, you just have to be rich, and that's it. That is the like, man.
Also, at least they're trying.
So much talent.
One thing, like, you know, okay, I don't really like talking about people, but the thing about that event in particular, it was so clearly just for show.
Yeah, it was a drive to Metropole detour.
No. Even worse than that, the cringe guy who actually bought a Michael Schumacher replica overall to drive his 458 around the track. You know, it's like, no, just don't do that.
No.
It's like, you know, just wear jeans and a t-shirt, you know,
or just like if you have an Alpine Star suit up and khalas.
But don't like he had the Marlboro, you know, and the shell.
Did he win?
He's one of the people who crashed. That's how I know what he was wearing.
It was under my house. It was right next to my house. I know. No.
But I mean,
nice attempt.
People,
nice attempt. We'll tip our hats off to that.
Definitely.
But don't like. I think the lesson to like, and people weren't supportive in general. Like I remember right after it happened,
bro. We saw the stands.
Yeah, that drone shot that they didn't want you to see.
Yeah. No one was there.
No, it's because, bro, you alienated half the people,
and because they made the tickets crazy expensive.
No, exactly.
Why?
No, like
even to watch, not to participate.
Imagine you're like from your village. A person's participating, the whole village will go down and see. Like, but if, like you're like,
Even when I participate in speed tests, like recently, all my friends just show up, you know, because they want to support. They want to. If you tell them, "Hey, la habibi, you can't come unless you pay 100,000 to go in," no one's gonna come.
And like, hey, do you want the golden circle? Or like, hey, I'm like, who am I meeting, man? This is my friend. Like, he can fuck himself.
Oh, look, Queen Elizabeth's next to me watching the Beirut Grand Prix.
I'll save that 200,000 and I'll be like, hey, let's hit up Chili's later and fuck off.
Yeah,
I'll buy you a drink.
Good attempt.
Do not hit that. Like,
all the memories. Chili's, the memories.
So good attempt. We want more attempts, but that work.
We hope the government, like everyone, facilitates. Support people. Like the thing is, I really think
the golf guy who just passed by the way.
Yeah, he's giving us like that.
Fart Nick, he was lenient this time.
Let's just tell people we're in a garage at Tariq. And we want it to be that, you know.
Don't call it a garage, man. We're in the man cave.
We're in the man cave.
We're in the man cave.
It's decommissioned.
Yeah.
I got rid of the sofas. It's basically a storage room. But it's an overglorified storage room.
But the sim's still here.
The sim is here. That's the key.
We had the option of doing it in like an apartment building or whatever, but this is way better. Like we like the whole.
Oh, by the way, that apartment option
is
completely gone.
Yeah,
sold.
Especially with your mom's.
No, it's sold
the other day. Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right. Let's backtrack a bit, like back to the topic we were talking about. So before we do our speed test, like our speed test, we just wanted to ask you, like, we know you had an M2.
Yeah.
We know you have an Evo.
Yeah. Yeah. But
so we know you have. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. We know you have a Megane or had.
That I had.
All right. So we just want to know, like, how was the progression from car to car? Like, how did you know, like, okay, I've had enough of the Megane. It's time for something new, or like, you know, how did that happen?
Honestly, in retrospect,
like we know how the Megane happened.
Yeah.
You weren't tired of your Civic. You just crashed it.
and like expired. You're too stupid to keep driving a regular car.
Okay. So like take us from the Megane to the M2 to the M2 to the Evo.
Honestly, the Megane, it was mostly the fact that كنت ماشي كتير. I put a lot of miles on it.
How many?
When I sold it, I had done like 140,000 kilometers in 4 years.
Wow.
But I think بعد لهلا أكتر ميجان ماشي بلبنان because I love driving. Like I would be, this is something my father used to think I was crazy. at the time. He genuinely wanted to have me institutionalized. أنا وراجع من AUB. When I finished classes, I finish AUB, I go up متن السريع, I go up to Abdate, and then I go through Bikfaya. I do Naas. No, I do Naas. I go up Naas. Wow. I practice the road of Naas. I go back down, and then I go back down through Rabie, not the regular road, and then I go home to Aukar, man. So like, you know, it's like literally this. Like you could go here, literally this.
Did your grades reflect that?
At some point, yeah. So I used to love driving that thing, and in retrospect, I think it's the car I regret selling. Like genuinely, it's a school.
It's the only car you've sold.
And the Civic. No, but honestly, like I've realized the value of that car after owning the M2 and recently the Evo, in that particular chassis and front wheel drive in general is honestly a school. Like people who go like, I want to buy an M2 as a first car. Bro, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
You know, and you're never going to learn the right reflexes, or you are after it's too late, after you've crashed your car. The front wheel drive, although not always as forgiving as one would think, like front wheel drive, try driving that on the limits. Try driving a front wheel drive car with proper power and a good chassis like the Megane.
And a handbrake.
Yeah, that's optional, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's just like it adds to the experience.
Drive like a racing line. Try to take a proper racing line in a front wheel drive car. Mine did not have the cup package, so I didn't have an LSD.
Yeah.
So it was even harder with the understeer and managing all of that. And that taught me so much. Like you would not believe. I get into any car and I'm not going to say I am immediately comfortable with it, but...
You get the feel for it.
Yeah, you get the feel because you've managed a car like the front wheel drive car, like the Megane in particular. So definitely a huge school. I sold it because كنت ماشي كتير.
So it's not like French car reliability.
No issues. Honestly,
really?
honestly,
Nice.
Zero issues for the length of my ownership.
Okay.
Nothing. I even actually I learned how to drive manual on that car, and the clutch held up to like 80,000 kilometers, and I only changed it because I got one for good price. It did not even need changing.
That's
just
proper
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
That's some layer I never knew about.
Yeah, just proper maintenance, oil changes, brakes, you know, check your coolant, blah, blah, blah. It served me perfectly for the...
Were you tuned?
Yes, I had very basic tuning. At the time, I did not have the funds.
So what is the stock power? What was the power you
Mine was a 2011, so it had 250 horsepower. I got a DCAT and a tune, a stage 1 tune, stage 1 plus, you know, like that.
So you didn't go stage 50?
No, you know, but you know, I didn't go like, it wasn't exactly safe, but it wasn't unsafe either. But
you were in like a gray area.
Yeah, exactly. I was a bit kind of over because I was racing the car at the time. Bumped up from 250 to an estimated, I guess, 320.
But dyno.
All right.
You're butt dyno.
Dyno. I never actually dynoed the car, I think. Or Mbala I did once, but I don't remember the number.
After that, like how did the thought process come into play when you wanted to buy the M2? Like what happened?
The M2 was
did you think
passion.
about
it was my dream car when I was 18, which was in 2000.
Wow, he's taking us back, bro, because so bro, 2021 minus 10.
Yeah, 2021 minus 10.
So 2011
exactly. was the 1M. It had just come out. I love the M cars. I love the E30 M3. I love the E46 M3. You know, I've always been like a huge fan of BMW. And the 1M came out and it was like, you know, I hate big cars. I love tiny, like purpose-built, angry cars.
We're gonna have that once Mazen's here. Yeah, we're gonna have that talk together.
So yeah, Mazen's another extreme. Yeah, I would love to do that, but it's not realistic, you know. So the 1M was like, I want that. Obviously, at the time it was too expensive, and then by the time I was able to buy a car, it was out of production, and finding a clean one with low mileage, blah blah blah. It wasn't really worth
untuned.
And untuned, exactly.
And 54, really you cannot you cannot resist.
So and the M2, like 2 years prior to it coming out, I read an article somewhere, and I was like, if that actually happens, I will have that.
That's
car,
the same thing that went with me.
Yeah.
I used to love.
I saw weird renders, and I was like, I want that. You know, and it did come out at the time. It was just right timed. Although I wasn't searching for that. I was searching for an Evo or an all-wheel drive car at the time, but
good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get a Focus RS, but they didn't end up bringing it. And then
so many wasted opportunities, man.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm looking at you, BUMC. We're waiting for that Yaris,
Yeah.
the GR Yaris or the Supra. Like, just get it. It's not difficult.
And
Service
then-
it and Basul Hnaini done.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I searched for. There was one Evo left, Bishirke and RS, which had the amenities, added into it. Kamen طارت before I could buy it. Plus, it was a big no. بالبيت having an Evo.
They knew.
They know. Yeah, my dad kind of likes cars,
Yeah. I mean, he has a CLA 45.
Yeah, he
right?
has a CLA 45.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then he was like, "You've always liked M's, so let's just do it. Yeah, let's pull the trigger." I went down, I spec'd it, and I got it.
So basically,
you
he
didn't buy it off the line. You spec'd it and you waited for
his
it.
spec is similar to what they get though as standard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very standard.
and I would have gotten it even more standard. I was like, I wanted a manual. They were like, no. Like, and then I was like, I want no like lighting package or mobile shoe. No, we have to give it to you. I'm like, no Bluetooth. They're like, you have to have it. No dual zone AC. You have to have it.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
No electric seats. They're like, okay, yay.
did you sell the Megane when the M2 arrived, or like before, or like how did
I
the
had them
transition
together
happen?
for a week.
For a
because-
week.
Because they gave me a horrible deal at Basul for the Megane.
How did you sell the Megane? Like who took it?
Yeah, did you sell it solo?
I sold it to a friend
Okay.
who really loved the car. So yeah,
Okay.
I sold it to him. بقيت my Jama after I got them to.
You know what's funny though? What you said about the M2, about it coming out and everything. I had the same thing when I had my 435 X-Drive. I was so content. I loved that car. All-wheel drive. Like, it was a perfect package. It looked nice, and it was safe to drive, whatnot. But I hated a few options in it. Like, then I had no Bluetooth streaming.
Yeah, I heard that in the previous episode.
Yeah,
I heard
that really drove me crazy.
Yeah.
And
You
I never
listen to
used
us?
Yeah.
Damn.
On occasion.
He's the type who listens on his way to work.
Yeah.
No. So when like rumors of an M2 came out, I went up to my friend Mustafa and Bahjat, and I told them, guys, I never say I want to sell my car, but if a BMW M2 comes out, that is the only. Yeah, I will get it. And
yeah, but I'm not gonna lie.
I waited. Hoot got it first. He took me for a spin in it. I went back home like, Mom, no way.
You know what's funny? Hoot ordered his car 1 week after me. He got it 3 months after me. That's how much of a back order there was on those things.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
There was a
surprised.
Hoots was late.
I'm good. I got in when they were doing the facelift. I got it mine last of the facelift, pre M2
ugly facelift.
No, I love
You
the facelift,
you dream of
actually.
having my taillights and
I hate your
headlights.
taillights. Your headlights, yes. Your taillights, I hate them.
Why? You don't like having like a
They're
little driver
weird.
error?
They look like mushed Picasso. I don't know.
It's a Picasso.
What?
Yeah, but just because it's a Picasso doesn't
Just
mean
never go into art.
After the M2, like now, how did you get the Evo? Like,
Evo has always been,
and like, how did you know this is the time for me to get it?
oh, that's really easy. وضع البلد. I found a guy who was willing to sell it for chèque bancaire. I wanted to get my money out of the bank. The price was just right. The car was clean. I got it checked. I was like, let's go.
Okay.
That was it. But
Even though it has carbon fiber door handles and
do not don't poke at the wound.
And it has a broken key. His key, he can't put a keychain on it.
Yeah,
It just looks like
let
broken
me say something. The door handle it's just like a cover over the actual door handle. It's not like a carbon fiber door handle.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're glued on.
It's just like a fake carbon
But
thing that's
I
glued
don't-
on
At
the
least like
door
if
handle.
they
scared.
wrapped it, it would have been less
I'm
like.
scared what they're glued on with because I have to take those off. But right now I'm not really.
If you take it off, it's less weight.
but it's carbon fiber.
Is it real?
Is it real carbon
Is it real
fiber?
carbon fiber though?
I think it's hydro dip, like a piece of plastic that's hydro dip.
So what about the driving experience of all three of these cars?
Yeah, compare like rank them. I think right
Yeah,
now.
let's rank them from 1 to 8.
Evo definitely whole different level. As someone has said this to me before. قد ما فسر لك غير ما تسوق ما رح تفهم. So no matter how much I try to describe it to you, if you don't drive an Evo, you will never know. And it is just mind-blowing It's honestly, it's mine. The things you can do with this car, it's just not normal. You come up to a corner, you're going, I don't know, like 140 kilometers per hour, and you're like, there's no freaking way I can corner at 140. And then by the time the thought goes out of your head, you're done. You're out of the corner.
Yeah, I was with
like,
Jay when he was running logs on your car,
bruh.
and like, trust me, the corners he went like,
oh my
shit
God.
he did.
Wait.
I was scared. I was shitting bricks.
Does your fiance know what this love affair though?
What? Yeah. She knows. She hates it. She knows that.
She hates the Evo?
No, she hates my
She
love
hates
for
the love
my
affair with
alright.
the Evo.
Yeah, with the Evo and then too.
That's dangerous territories.
I have two passions that drive my fiance insane. One is cars, the other is snowboarding. Those two things, like, it's like, حياتي عنا عشا. No, we don't. I'm going snowboarding. It's like...
No, it's just like, let's go out for dinner. Yeah, but the boys want to go for a ride. Are you down to go to Chili's?
Exactly.
Like an Evo top.
Evo top.
This
is really, really, really hard because, as I said, like,
what put a bigger smile on your face?
Yeah,
that's the way.
Smiles per mile, whatever.
Smiles per gallon.
Smiles per gallon, whatever.
Smiles per mile.
Yeah, whatever is definitely the M2.
There you go.
But as I said, there is an undeniable credit to the Megane. Yani, I wouldn't have the same smiles in the M2 had I not driven the Megane and learned how to drive the Megane. The credit goes entirely to the Megane. Yani, my driving, be it in the Evo or in the M2.
Man, we need to monitor OLX. If Megane prices skyrocket after this,
they are.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Ken.
Amazing.
Would you buy a performance SUV?
Oh, you really want to?
You know the answer to that.
You really want to poke him?
Yeah.
No.
So, what do you think about the X5M that we?
X5M SVR.
Judge it.
Let's
Look.
You've been in the X5M.
I get the appeal. I do. I honestly get the appeal. I just find it completely and utterly useless. Completely. That's why Anthony knows this, and I've been like, this is an inside joke that has been going on for the better part of 2-3 months. I call them FUTs. F.U.T, which are fat, useless things. It's like, bro, why?
I wonder what else
Why
we can
not?
squeeze into that category.
Bro, okay, wait. How much does an X5M cost brand new?
like
On average, it's like 185 to 200. Like,
Okay.
depends on how
Let's
good of a
go
deal
with
you got.
185.
Okay.
Would you rather buy a 185 SUV that does everything mediocre? And don't tell me it's a track car.
You need to really like
Reel it in.
Tread calmly.
No. Okay. You can't track the car.
You can.
If ATCL lets us enter it, we would have
can.
taken it.
Fine.
And there's an X5M tracking in Abu Dhabi, stripped out.
It's not in
Black
M.
gutted.
I don't
It
think
is an M.
It's an M?
It's an
It's
X5
an
M
X5M.
stripped.
Oh, really?
Didn't
But
product.
All right. But it's not an X5M anymore. Is it an
And he's
SUV?
trapped.
Is it a utility vehicle?
I think that's a question for the people to answer.
Yeah,
we'll
it's
run
for
a
you
poll
guys
with
to
this.
answer.
Yeah.
We're
run
gonna
a
come
poll
back.
before we get back.
We're gonna come back with a fire round to end up this
little fire talk.
the speed round. Okay.
For the speed test, boy.
So we're back and we're gonna give Kamal just a bit.
He asked for
Yeah.
just a few minutes.
I want to talk about FUTs. I do. I really want to talk about
We can briefly
FUTs.
talk about FUTs because you have a problem with it.
It's
You have a
not
problem with me posting about them every now and then.
No, I don't really have a problem.
I'm
with
pretty
you.
sure he
I
likes
just like
that
making
new
I have a
Aston.
problem with you having a problem with me about
I don't
posting.
have a
Why do you do?
I have a problem
We
with
all
the
know
cars
you want that
themselves.
new Aston Martin SUV.
No, bro.
Man.
No.
By the way, the Aston Martin SUV he told me is not a FUT.
Because
don't
I
make
did
it-
not know that's how it was built. I'm not gonna lie. I don't
Okay.
know much about it. But the whole idea was like, كنا عم نحكي إنه an X5M is 185k. Would you rather pay 185k for an X5M or pay 80k for an M2?
Is this rhetorical? Or do we answer?
No, you can answer.
Okay.
Anna, this is my logic
just
behind it.
keep going with the...
Yeah, this is my logic behind it. And I'd pay 80k for an M2, and then I'd pay 40k for an Evo, and then I'd pay 30k for an SUV, and then I'd use the rest of the money to freaking, if there's any left, I don't know.
Yeah, you clearly
Big
don't
maths.
know the ownership costs of an Evo and an M2.
I do.
You do.
I do.
And so you know that's unrealistic.
No, but see, the thing is, it's like a performance SUV is not going to be comfortable for the family, so you're just lying to yourself. It's not going to perform well on the track. You're just lying to yourself. If you strip it, it's not an SUV anymore. I'm sorry.
It is.
It's
Wow.
not a utility vehicle.
Okay, we
You
said
can't-
before
out of choice,
before our
you
little
know.
break, we said we'd have a poll. Okay, and we'd
Yeah.
run a poll and
We'll
we'll
make
see
a
what
poll.
people answer.
Yeah. And I can tell you what they're gonna answer.
But
I
like-
know if
Oh, are you willing to
What
bet?
are the options gonna be of the poll? Option 1.
Is an X5M a foot?
Okay.
it is.
You've been. You remember? You
Yeah,
also
yeah.
went for a spin in the tuned one.
It is impressive, and I went in yours. I think.
Yeah, the
once.
stock and tuned.
It is impressive. I will not deny it. The performance is crazy. It
And
has
the way
an
it
M5
corners.
MT.
Come on,
Not the
man!
way
That
it
car
corners,
used
bro.
to oversteer everywhere. It was
Yeah,
really,
power slides every
power
corner,
slides
man.
everywhere. That was something.
Every
That's
corner.
why I love the
I
X5
love
so
that
much.
Do you want that when you have your kids in the back seat?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck my kids.
Yeah,
Fuck them
see?
kids, bro.
That's not what general people think.
Like,
I mean, we're not general
You know,
people.
if you have kids,
Yeah.
guys, you're gonna be depressed already. Like, might as well put a smile on your face every once in a while.
My point is, if you're
Wow.
really like into driving cars on the track and whatnot, a performance SUV is not gonna like you
So, like,
feel like
let's just wait to see what happens when you and your
Would you
fiancé ever
agree
get
that
kids.
if you have the money,
I get an RS6. That's not a fun. I get an Evo. It has 4 seats, four doors.
Yeah, what if you have more kids?
Fuck them.
the man, if,
Then wait,
let's just consider someone that has enough money to buy an X5M as a daily and a GT3 RS as a track
As a
car.
side
Okay,
car,
this
yeah.
is an extreme case, but you know if like
We
you
know a
have
couple of people that have enough money
yes
to do that.
yes, but like generally speaking.
Generally,
Metropole parking lot. The Metropole parking lot.
If you want to buy like okay, you're gonna splurge on one car, like general population. ما
Okay.
تحكيني اللي معه millions.
Okay.
You're gonna splurge on one car that's تعبي لك راسك مثل ما بيقولوا.
Like we're gonna have a zoom in on his face when he did that.
You
Yeah.
know,
Little
yeah.
flower.
Yeah.
But do you really want it to be a 2-ton high car that has 4-wheel drive? Honestly, I'd go with a rear-wheel drive, lightweight. I'd go for a Lotus. Honestly, like, and then I'd buy a more reasonable car. For,
Hey, if we fit in a Lotus, خد اللي بدك إياه.
yeah, I heard you complaining about the whole
Yeah.
fat thing. First episode.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's why I lost weight to fit into a Lotus.
Do you fit in Mazen's Lotus?
Yeah, I do. I drove it.
Comfortably?
Like I fit in the Lotus as well.
I fit in the Lotus too, but like you can't recline. Like
I'm-
you're just.
I'm significantly shorter than you two.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Hey, like,
I'm flexible.
well, maybe.
شو خاص flexible رح تلف ايدك اجرك حوالين
هي
الكلتش.
الفوتة على السيارة أول شيء.
Not
And the
الفوتة،
pedals
قصة
are
القعدة،
closed.
the
You
I
don't
know,
have a lot
بس
of
الفوتة
adjustability
كمان
in the seat.
is a big problem. بس
Fault is
I get it.
easy.
I've driven the
Excellent.
Lotus, man. إجري أنا for me, my legs have to be like that.
I come in big feet.
افتحهم
Don't
like that.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
my knees like خلاص they're in my face.
Tough. You don't fit in.
Mike, and that's us. Like what's it called? Lotus. The way I was able to get out, I figured out the most elegant solution.
Tell me.
Crawl
Open
out
the
like a
door.
slug.
Open the
Just
door.
like crawl out.
No, open the door, turn your back, and throw yourself to the ground.
Because basically you're already on the ground when
There
you
you
think
go.
about
So
it. It's
like, and
not
then
a big
you're like,
deal.
okay, your hands are out. You just raise your feet. You do a very elegant like turn, and you're
make a
good to
turn.
go. You make you
Point
like,
being, point being, not to let
You
You
this
made, you
trail
made your
off.
appearance, you know?
Yeah.
People are like, oh shit, who is he? You got all the lights on you.
So yeah, I'm not. I get them. I would
Alright.
never buy one.
Listen, we'll continue this as a form of a debate, I think, for a future episode with Mazen here, because me and Anthony are like, I agree with you to a certain extent, but I also disagree with you to a much bigger
I'm a
extent.
I've
fan.
never owned one. I have to admit that. I've
Yeah.
been in them. I've never driven one.
There
I've
you
never
go.
owned
That's
one.
it.
I cannot really judge.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you go buy a Range Rover SVR. I will tell you do not buy that car. You don't want British engineering with all of this.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get it
With
clear.
power,
Anyways.
sorry.
All right. So
Let's just move on to the speed round. And let's
you want to
finish
kick
this
it
off.
off?
Alright.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're gonna ask you questions.
All right.
Just answer
The first thing
thing that comes to mind.
All right.
Very quickly.
All
Okay.
right.
So let's start. Stock or tuned?
Tuned.
All right. Sell Evo or sell the M2?
M2.
Wow. Okay. Evo or a GT3?
Ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GT3.
Okay. So what's
Yeah. Not gonna. More GT4 than. But
All
not, yeah.
all right? So
That's
what's
the second question.
there? We go. There we go. So what's one Porsche you've always dreamt of owning?
GT4.
One.
Yeah.
Damn, over a 930 turbo,
the
over
first
a 9.
gen?
Oh.
All Porsche.
all Porsches.
Money is not an issue. Bill Gates has. You have
Bill
Bill
Gates
Gates.
is my daddy.
Once you take the vaccine, you have Bill Gates
First
money.
thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I think I'd still pick the GT4.
Okay. Most painful feeling when driving.
Crashing.
Besides crashing. No, most of us haven't leveled
question,
up.
Nick? Like,
No,
I didn't
like,
write this.
Grinding, missing a gear. Like when you're shifting, you fuck up a shift. Or when a person.
Sorry.
For me.
Honestly, based on recent experience, crashing someone else's car.
Oh.
That's not good.
After.
Yeah. Huh.
We're not going to talk about the
no,
circumstances
no,
you
let's
getting
skip
into.
it.
Okay, let's make
it's
a
something
move.
I feel
All
bad
right,
about.
let's
I
move
don't
on.
want to go into it.
All right. So.
6.
Yeah. Drifting or racing, one has to go.
Has to go.
Yeah. Like completely. Like the concept of one never exists.
Wow.
Like you've never done it. You will never do it.
Yeah, you can't.
People do it, but you can't do it.
Yeah,
You're
you
not
will
allowed
never.
to
You
do
will
it.
never have the feeling or the joy of one.
If we're talking,
Answer first
thing.
I can't.
No,
I can't.
No,
I can't because honestly,
you
they're not
have
two
to, or
things
else
you
you're
can
gonna be
separate.
destined to own an X5M in your future.
They're not two things you can separate. You know, drifting teaches you car control. You need car control in racing. You have to have the balls to go fast to drift like the pros, and racing teaches you how to go fast and know what to do when you're going really fast and recalibrate your mind. So I don't really think you can exclude one or the other.
Lame.
But as a passion,
Yeah, really.
okay, fine. I'll answer. I'd say I prefer racing.
Okay,
I like
there you go.
going
That's our
fast
answer.
around the
That's
corner.
okay,
All right,
there you
okay.
go.
It's more satisfying.
One
to me.
person you should never drive next to.
Your mom.
That's the first thought that came to mind.
I guess, yeah, because
Wow, Boya's gonna be really disappointed.
Mama, you're like, bro, I'm going like 30. Mama, you're going too fast, mom. I'm not doing anything.
So I think that gives us the answer to our next question. What's the worst type of passenger? A mom.
Yeah, see, I kind of have a flaw or it might be a blessing where I can completely zone out. My fiance can attest to that. I was driving like a maniac under the rain, and then she was screaming and I couldn't hear her until I started slowing down. I was like, were you saying something?
Come on.
So I don't really have a bad passenger. And I accept criticism.
Except the type of person who puts their feet on the dashboard.
Oh, people who disrespect your car, definitely.
Yeah,
but it's not so much a passenger as it is a kind of person.
And for me, it's the
never
worst
had that,
person
by
who
the way.
who drives, he backseat drives your car. You're like sitting. My mom,
Zone
man.
out.
If my mom's in the car with me, I'm in the Crown Vic. I'm like doing 40. All right, guys. So this is where I recommend headphone users turn the volume all the way down because some bad shit's about to happen. And she's like, Nick, sorry, headphone users, but I had to. Like, really, you have to understand how stressful it is.
They're gone.
We'll have a pause, a little warning. Like,
guys, watch it.
Yeah.
So I know the answer to this: EVs or internal combustion engine.
EVs are impressive, but definitely internal combustion.
All right. So
even though I'm going to do a master's in EVs, by the way.
Yeah, let's wait. We'll hold off on posting until he gets hired.
Yeah.
All right. So favorite F1 team and driver, and least favorite F1 team and driver.
Favorite F1 team, Ferrari, always has been. Driver, I don't know, it's cheesy, but Senna, I guess.
Current driver.
Oh, current?
Yeah.
Charles
Okay.
Leclerc.
Okay.
Definitely.
Least favorite.
Least favorite team? No, I know what you're thinking. It's not Mercedes.
You're not gonna say Mercedes.
I respect.
I respect
I
them too.
respect
I
them.
really do.
I do. Least favorite team?
I think maybe racing.
Maybe Haas.
Ha-
Maybe Haas.
I hate their
Yes.
current driver.
Yeah, current driver, but manager is kind of like, I had Gunther Steiner, way over the top. Respect to the guy, but way over the top. I don't know. I don't find him.
Listen,
as
man, he's just playing with the cards he's
charming.
been dealt.
Yeah, I guess. But no, even people find him charming. I don't. And I'm like, مهضوم. He adds, soul to F1. That's a fucking lie. Most hated driver. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I respect his talent, but Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
I respect his talent. I do. He is an amazing driver.
I agree.
But anything.
I really think it's an unfair
conduct.
advantage right now that
Conduct.
he has. Yeah.
Even Lewis Hamilton is silent throughout the whole race. If someone overtakes him, mabikil on the freaking road. My car is ما بعرف شو. It's so fast. I can't keep up. What's happening? What's this? I need to pit.
I'm just mad over what he did with Alex Albon, like a few races.
The punt, yeah, when he shoved him,
Always.
and how he gets away with
everything.
Let's not point fingers because maybe we don't know the rules as well as we should. Maybe there are actual loopholes that he's taking advantage of. I just don't like the guy.
Maybe.
All right.
Anyways, question 11: favorite F1 track?
Spa, any day.
Okay. Favorite road in Lebanon?
Depends on the car.
One car.
خلاص بعنا الانتو خيي بقيت الايفو.
بقيت
الايفو with الجماجم.
Which one? The one I know or the one you know?
تبع بسكنتا.
Okay.
I have so many memories.
The one that you crashed or
no.
crashed on?
This one is narrow. It's a canyon road. It's narrow. You have the canyon تحتك. Very easy to get killed. Honestly, it's not the best. The corners, the flow of them, the car. Just I learned how to drive my Megane on that road like properly.
Now that we're back to the Megane, you thought I would let you off easy.
Yeah.
I have something for the viewers. Tell us what happened with your Megane the first day you bought the car.
It's not the first day. It's the first day I drove the car. Because I didn't know how to drive a manual at the time. So it was like a couple of weeks before I took it out myself. And okay, so first day went to AUB انطفت فيه بنص الأوتوستراد. Holy shit, shat my pants. I don't know how to drive a manual. Point being كله هيدا هين. Finished my day. And then while I was leaving uni, one of my friends goes up, Inshallah تضربها. You know, I looked at him like, why the fuck would you say that?
Yeah.
Like it's like
current friend?
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Okay.
He's just being a dick, you know.
مثل ما بيعملوا at school like when you go buy new shoes
they-
بتعصلك عليهم.
Exactly.
Oh shit.
So anyways, I had a friend with me, dropped them off, got home. My house, our building is in a really steep slope. So, and I didn't have a place to park at the time. So I had to park بالنزلة. And so I parked my car بالنزلة.
And you lifted the handbrake. Everything normal.
Yeah, I lifted the handbrake, but no, I was told ما تحط السيارة بالفيتاس أو ما تصفع الفيتاس, so I didn't, obviously. And I left the car, looked at it while leaving. Oh, so pretty, my new car. And then طلعت على البيت. And then my mom was sitting on the balcony just looking at my car. And she was like, ليه صفيت بكعب النزلة? Why did you park at the bottom of the street? I was like, I didn't. I parked next to the building. She was like, no, you're parked at the end of the street. And then I look out the window and apparently my handbrake didn't work. So the car
So it didn't fail.
It didn't fail. It was gripping, but very slightly.
Okay.
So the car just rolled ever so slightly all the way down the road until it like scraped against the wall. And you know, I was standing on the balcony. We live on the third floor. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why is my car that way? I realized what happened.
You connected the dots.
Bro, I jumped down. I didn't even bother like waiting for the elevator. I jumped down each flight of stairs at a time. I was like jumping 10
anything to
flights,
see that.
10 flights at a time. I was running like a maniac. I went down and I was like, fuck! It was like literally the first day I drive the car, and we'd been parking the car there for 2 weeks, and my dad was parking it, and there was absolutely no problem. And I don't know why on that day. And I took it to drive.
How bad was the damage though?
Nothing, just a tiny scratch. No, zero damage.
That's
just
that
tiny
French
scratch.
charm.
Really?
Yeah, but because the car was obviously blue, it showed, and the wall was white, so you had like 6 or 7 pretty deep scratches on the rear quarter panel.
And with that, I think we can wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to give let's give them just like, do you have anything else to say besides your hate for SUVs and whatnot?
No, just stay safe on the roads. If you want to do stuff, try to do it legally with ATCL or whatever. And if you're interested in seeing what it's like,
come out.
The season starts on the 18th of April. So just check the calendar, take part, show up, watch, learn, and stay safe, I guess.
Anyways,
wear your masks.
Yeah, wear your masks.
Thanks, Kamal, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
We look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah,
you and your very strong opinions.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, on that note, I think we're gonna end here.
All right.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
Or day.